Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And I'm really excited to bring to you, from the Takara Movie Advance line, this is Armor Knight Leader Class Optimus Prime. For those of you who may be unfamiliar, this is Takara's repaint, retool, heavy retool of the Leader Class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime figure. It features some new parts in robot mode, a new, more movie accurate paint scheme, as well as a new shield and sword. We're starting off in vehicle mode. Very nice truck mode. Very impressed. Do want to mention, I I'm not 100% sure if the tires are rubber. The other day I wanted to say yes. Tonight I want to say no. But it does roll very nicely. Um, nice respectable amounts of chrome here on the grill and on the overhang, as well as here on the sides with the gas canisters, as well as the smokestacks in the rear. Everything else is a nice metallic sheen of blue. The flames are in a metallic red. It's just a really nice looking truck. I wasn't really going to pass on this, but with seeing the photos and in-hand images really got me interested. And I had always wanted like at least one of the larger scale Optimus Primes. Um, so yeah, there's really not much here in vehicle mode. The shield obviously stores on the trailer hitch. We'll get to that in a little bit later. So, without further ado, let's get to the transformation. Much like the majority of the Age of Extinction line, the focus on Leader Class Optimus Prime is to have a simplified transformation scheme. Granted, not as simple as the various first edition Optimus Primes or the Battle Command Optimus Prime, which is, as of this recording, still a Takara exclusive, but it's not as difficult as, say, Revenge of the Fallen, Leader Class Optimus Prime. I know people still have nightmares about that toy. In interest of full disclosure, I do have the instructions next to me. The reason being is not because I haven't spent a lot of time with the figure, is that I want to count off the steps with you and to see how it matches up. Keep in mind also that sometimes multiple steps have been combined into one. I mean, it really is like two steps, but it's one because you only have two hands. So, step one, we'll move the shield. Very nice redo. Has a little bit of the blaster there in the front. Um, looks a, you know, it's I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how much he really uses it, but it's nice, good sturdy plastic. We'll put that off to the side, and then we come underneath, and there's the new sword, and it stores in that little slot, which we'll see more of in robot mode. But this is a very nice sword. Um, I like the design. I like the orange flame. Apparently this is how it looks in the movie, so lots of great detail. You have a more reddish orange with some metallic blue. Again, we'll get to that more in robot mode. So that was step one. Ooh, exciting. Step two is you want to come in and pop up the wind guard here, which is in quite nicely. Okay, just get that up out of the way, and then come in and bring down the sides here on both sides. I'm going to adjust the camera ever so slightly to give myself some more room. So basically we just went ahead and folded these down. And what I can suggest is you just go ahead and continue folding them down all the way on that double hinge, which I'm doing on both sides, opening up where the gas cap and the foot stand is. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to detach the side and the rear hook here from the front, and rotate that all the way back, just like so. Try to keep the panels out of the way. Sure, you'll have to adjust them multiple times. I know, I have. Next, what you want to do is, if it's on a track, go ahead, slide the rear down, and then what you're going to do is something, it will click into place, but something that I notice few reviewers sometimes miss. You want to go ahead and remember that slot that the sword was stored in vehicle mode is on a hinge itself. So you're going to flip it up here at the main axis, and then go ahead, flip that down. It'll all friction into place, collapse against the back. That will be a sheath of sorts for robot mode. So we went ahead and did that. Next, what you want to do is, as you can see here, the robot mode arms are bent at the elbow. You want to go ahead, straighten those out. I do appreciate how this and the first edition Optimus Prime, as well as the Power Battlers version, all feature and the Battle Command all feature the similar transformation scheme where it sort of looks like Optimus is sitting down. The next step, what you want to do is come in and rotate these arms out. They are on hinges. This is how it gets that cool look in the packaging. So I can do this from the front. And then the next step is you want to rotate the forearms so the hands are facing forward. And we're just going to keep moving on, moving on. The next step is we're going to separate the roof of the truck and rotate it out to the sides and bring it down. And I actually just did 2 steps at once. Okay. The next step is you're going to take this whole back section and on the hip joints, ratchet it forward. That'll come down and basically look like Optimus Prime is on his back. We can, fiddle with that more later on. Okay, I'm going to adjust the camera some more. Bring that back down a little. Split the front. I hope you all realize this really isn't that difficult of a transformation, which I do appreciate. And then what we're going to do is flip up the front grills and rotate them around up over the leg. Just like so. And then continuing on, we're going to then rotate out, and let me see how I can catch this, is that this whole section will rotate down, and as it does that, there is a little springed flap right where my thumb is that will spring up and fill in the gap there. So there's that. So we have the legs like so. Next, what you want to do is go ahead, grab the waist, rotate it around, just like so. And here we have Prime's legs starting to come together quite nicely. Reach in underneath and flip up the feet. Oh, nice little tab right there. If you have nails, you can just go in and just like so. And then finally, what we're going to do is go ahead, rotate this section around that we get the flame sides coming up. And the skirts here, which I'm going to stand up to bring into some clarity, actually unpeg, and you can swing them around to the front like so. just like that, and you just, I mean, again, that's stuff you can adjust later on, but it's sort of supposed to represent his skirt armor of sorts, just like that. So there it is, really nice. So we're gonna go from down here. Okay, and here we are with the final steps for Optimus Prime. You want to take this section and flip it down. That'll be the front part of its skirt. And then, some of you might be aware of the special magic that's going to happen as we flip down his chest plate, clip it into place, and the head of Optimus Prime pops up. And there we have him in robot mode. I just wanted to back the figure up and give you a full view of just how awesome it is in robot mode. You have gunmetal gray along with a nice metallic silver with the paint scheme. You have some metallic gold here along the knees. More of that metallic red and blue here in the chest. Just a fantastic looking figure. Now, in terms of what's been redone, I'm going off the top of my head. These are new forearms with gauntlets, which we'll get into more with articulation. A new head, which we'll get into when we get into these gimmicks. And I do believe these are new shins and feet, as well as I mentioned before, an all-new paint scheme. But this is just a really cool looking figure. Alright, starting us off, we're going to start at the head here, and the head's on a ball joint. It can give you a full bit of rotation, get a little bit of that side to side, what you doing, and look up and down. Now, there is, of course, the spring in the chest, so you do have a little bit of that bounce there, but, you know, that's nice. As we saw in the transformation, the shoulder pads are on these multiple hinge systems, so they can move out of the way to allow you to get to these nice ratchet joints here in the shoulder, as well as the elbow, the rotation, not only at the bicep, but now also at the wrist, which I think is fantastic and helps with holding the sword. The thumb, of course, can still open, as did the original figure. You do also have that armpit joint, which is, I'm not really sure if it's really designed for the robot mode or just for transformation, but it does help with some two-handed sword poses. Nothing here. There is that waist joint we saw before, which I can get to using the, like so. It's a little tight, and I will freely admit the skirts do get in the way. Moving them out of the way gives us access to this great ratchet hips. You have a swivel right above the knee, ratchet joint, single joint at the knee, and just a hinge there at the toe. So it's not the most articulated Optimus Prime, but I think if you spend some time with it, you definitely can get some really great poses out of it, if that's your thing. Me, I just like being able to look at this figure and realize just how cool it really is. Besides the newly remolded hands and gauntlets and stuff, my opinion, the best improvement to this figure is the new head, which features a face-changing gimmick. As you can see right here, I have the battle faceplate down, which is how I know my Optimus Prime to be, with a faceplate. To utilize the gimmick, what you want to do is bring your thumb in right here underneath the chin, flip the helmet all the way back, so you can get access to the gear. No, it's not a gear, but the swivel. Rotate it around until the plate is centered there in the head, and then you can bring it back down and close it up. And there's Optimus Prime with the battle mask withdrawn. And I have to say, on camera and in photos, it's really hard to pick out. I mean, I'm trying to bring this in as close as I can. Let me clear up the zoom there. But yeah, as you can see, there's that head. Now, I do want to mention, I have transformed the figure a few times. Um, the spring motion, I have noticed, on occasion, will loosen up the hinge that holds the helmet and face down. Not too big of an issue, but something you do want to be aware of. I added in the sword and shield, and as you can see, you can hold it quite nicely. Somewhat of a little bit of an action pose. Um, and as we turn the figure, you can see how the, the new wrist joints work quite nicely for some better sword wielding poses. I'll be honest, I would have preferred to have a ball jointed wrist or some sort of forward hinge to bring the sword down more. Speaking of the sword, I do want to mention it just again, as the sword pegs in quite nicely into the hand, but again, the little slot here on the back, you can store the sword quite nicely and comfortably. Now for the big question. Can I recommend this figure? To be honest with you, if you have not purchased a version of the Leader Class Optimus Prime, and right now, by my count, there's the US release, the Japanese release, and the US 2-pack with that's a shared exclusive between Toys R Us and Big Bad Toy Store with a Leader Class Grimlock. I definitely recommend this version of the figure. If you already have a version of Leader Class Optimus Prime, I'm not entirely certain that there's enough new here for you to be interested in. It's the exact same transformation. None of the new parts affect that, but it's just a cosmetic look. I mean, the newest, most different thing would be the head. And judging by the import prices, that might be a factor in whether or not you would want this figure. I'm happy with my purchase, and I'm glad I picked it up, but I was waiting to get this figure, knowing that in the movie lines, a figure like Optimus Prime gets repainted over and over. I actually bought this off of eBay. Someone was able to get it early, but they should be hitting Big Bad Toy Store, TF Source, and other online retailers. And as a final mention, as of this recording, there is no word that this figure will see a US release at retail. This is your old pal Chuck. Please allow me to extend my most happy holiday wishes, as this will be my final new video for 2014. And I'll see you next year, because we'll have Combiner Wars.